In DECON, material and methods of biotechnology are used as art media to create paintings literally alive that deconstruct themselves while being exhibited. Bacteria, engineered to reduce the pollution created by industrial textile dyes, are cultured within reproductions of Mondrian paintings that are slowly decomposed. The artwork is alive, and as such, it dies and decomposes, as eventually each one of us will. The project DECON was developed from a casual observation: brightly colored bacterial plates on top of a laboratory bench. The laboratory, directed by Dr. Lígia Martins in Lisbon, conducts research on what is usually called green biotech, the use of biotechnology to remediate environmental problems. They have been developing the use of harmless environmental bacteria to degrade highly polluting textile dyes. In DECON, the conceptual and aesthetic opportunities created by this scientific research are explored. The basic idea was to create live paintings that would be progressively fading by the action of bacteria. However, this process created several technical problems. A critical factor was the determination of the ideal conditions for bacterial growth and action within the environment present in a museum or art gallery, where the temperature and humidity conditions are different from the ones where bacteria usually grow in the lab. In addition, it was not known how efficiently bacteria could degrade different colors with distinct chemical compositions. And finally, the speed of degradation of the different pigments would have to be adjusted to the length of time required for an exhibition. In order to address those issues, the artist has worked alongside the scientists researching the conditions to adapt bacterial action to exhibition conditions at art galleries. The rate of color degradation can be calibrated in relation to the duration of the exhibition by manipulating the nutritional and environmental conditions, for example, by using a different growth media or different pH levels. In DECON, paintings with approximately 55 by 55 centimeters were created by filling rectangular perspex boxes with bacterial growth medium called agar. The boxes are a giant version of the petri dishes routinely used in laboratories to grow microorganisms. The reproductions of Mondrian paintings were created by incorporating pigments within the agar. The bacteria, Pseudomonas putida, is seated within the agar in such a way that will progressively degrade the pigments as they multiply. As a consequence, with time, the entire color vanishes. DECON also has a particularity that characterizes scientific research. Juxtaposed to a painting being degraded, you find an identical one without bacteria also displayed, corresponding to the so-called control group, required in every scientific study. The choice of Mondrian paintings, a master of constructivism, is not accidental for a project dealing with deconstruction. Mondrian created a term to define his work, neue Bildung, that he translated as new plastic. That related to the dynamism created between the elements of the composition, where the positive and the negative are sources of all action and tension. For Mondrian, the positive and the negative should merge to create harmony. In DECON, as in Mondrian's work, the dynamism is a central focus of the work, the dynamics of life and death, of degradation and putrefaction. In DECON, it becomes possible to witness the dematerialization of the artwork. It is a work with the capacity to deconstruct or to decompose itself, where decomposition and deconstruction can have the meaning of analysis suggested by Derrida. But here, those words can be also understood as putrefaction and destruction. These paintings are pieces that only exist while they're being degraded. Thus, one can interpret those paintings as a process of death and decomposition of the artwork, a concept familiar to the artist in her previous work. For instance, in nature, the artwork are live butterflies with modified wing patterns that, as all live organisms, have a limited lifespan. Those butterflies are therefore another example of a work that literally lives and dies. As the artwork is literally alive and changing, the bacteria can be seen as collaborators or assistants in the process of artistic creation, while being also part of the artwork itself. The biological technology allows to go beyond the approximation to what is alive or to what is life. DECON is an example of a live artwork, and as such it ages, it dies, and it decomposes.